You've applied to 50 remote jobs this month and the silence is deafening. You know you're qualified, you know you have the skills. So what is going on? You start wondering if the competition is just insane, if your resume is getting lost in a black hole, if you're just not cut out for this. What if I told you the problem isn't you? It's not your talent, it's not your worth. It's a series of small hidden and totally fixable mistakes in your application that are getting you rejected before a human even sees your name. These are the silent killers of your remote job search. They are the reason you're stuck in this cycle of applying and hearing nothing. But today, that cycle ends. Hey besties, as a career coach, I've spent the last couple of years helping people just like you ditch the cubicle and land their dream remote jobs. I've seen it all, what works and what really doesn't. Here's the truth. The remote job market is a whole new ball game with its own rulebook. Companies aren't just looking for someone who can do the job. They are looking for someone who can do the job remotely, and that's a world of difference. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the most common cringe-worthy mistakes that are costing you callbacks. And we are not talking about vague advice here. We're going to break down each mistake, show you exactly why it's sabotaging your chances, and give you a clear, actionable game plan to fix it, starting now. At the end of this, you will have a completely new way to look at your applications, one that will finally get you out of the application void and into the interview room. Let's get into it. Don't forget to give this video a massive thumbs up, share it with someone, and comment first timer if you're just seeing me for the first time. Let's get into it. First up, the biggest mistake of them all: sacrificing quality for quantity. It feels productive, right? You spend a Sunday afternoon blasting out 45 applications and feel like you've really accomplished something. But what you've actually done is send 45 generic low effort flares into a sky already crowded with fireworks. Recruiters and hiring managers can spot this from a mile away. It's the digital equivalent of handing the same flyer to every single person on the street, hoping anyone will care. The problem with the spray and pray method is twofold. First, you're almost guaranteed to get filtered out by applicant tracking systems or ATS. These are the bots that can scan your application for keywords from the job application before it ever reaches a human. If your resume is generic, the ATS finds no matches and immediately tosses it in the virtual trash. Game over before it even began. Second, if it somehow slips past the bots, a human recruiter will see it for what it is in about 5 seconds, a zero effort application. Remote companies crave people who are proactive and have a sharp eye for detail. A generic application screams the exact opposite. It says you didn't care enough to read the job description. So why would they believe you'd care about doing the job? So here's the fix. It's a mindset shift. Stop thinking about volume and start thinking about impact. I want you to try the 5-star strategy. Each week, find just 5 roles that you are genuinely excited about and a great fit for. These are your 5-star jobs. For these 5 jobs, you go all in. You treat each application like a mini project, not a lottery ticket. This focused approach might feel slower, but your response rate will skyrocket because you're sending a powerful signal of genuine interest. Quality over quantity is rule number 1 of the modern remote job search. And that leads us right into mistake number 2, the generic soulless resume. Using a resume that isn't built for remote work. Most people have one static resume that lists their job history and skills. That was fine in 2014, but in today's remote world, it's a fatal flaw. Your resume isn't a history report, it's a marketing document. Its only job is to convince a remote hiring manager that you are the perfect solution to their problem. The issue with a generic resume is that it doesn't speak the language of remote work. Remote employers are hunting for a specific set of skills that prove you can be trusted to work without a manager breathing down your neck. Things like time management, asynchronous communication, and self-motivation are not just buzzwords. They are the foundation of a great remote employee. If your resume only lists technical skills, you're only telling half the story. So how do we fix this? You're going to turn your resume from a passive list of duties into an active showcase of your remote readiness. First, add a key skills or remote work skills section right at the top of your resume. This is your highlight reel. Curate a list of both hard and soft skills that screams remote ready. List the collaboration tools you've mastered like Slack, Asana, Trello, Jira, Notion. Then add the soft skills they are desperate for: asynchronous communication, time management, independent problem solving, and cross-functional collaboration. Second, you have to weave these skills into your actual job descriptions. Don't just say what you did, explain how you did it in a remote context. Turn your bullet points into data-driven stories. Check out this before and after. The before bullet point: responsible for managing team projects and ensuring deadlines were met. It's fine. It's also vague and boring. Now let's reframe it for a remote role. Independently managed a project from conception to completion for a distributed team across 3 time zones, using Asana for task tracking and Slack for asynchronous updates, which cut out our project's completion time by 15%. See the difference? The after is packed with remote-friendly keywords: distributed team, time zones, Asana, Slack, asynchronous. It proves you can work alone, independently managed, and shows a real result. Every bullet point on your resume needs to be this intentional. If the resume is your highlight reel, the cover letter is where you tell your story. And mistake number 3 is either skipping it completely or sending a generic copy-paste template. I hear it all the time. Does anyone even read cover letters anymore? For remote jobs, the answer is a huge flashing neon yes. Why does it matter so much? Because the remote job market is flooded with applicants. Your resume shows you have the skills, but the cover letter is your one chance to explain why you want to work for that specific company. It adds personality and context that a resume just can't. A great cover letter proves you've done your homework and immediately separates you from the hundreds of other qualified candidates. And a cloned cover letter where you just swap the company name is almost worse than sending nothing. It screams, I'm mass applying and I don't really care about this job. That's a massive red flag for companies that want to build a strong culture. The fix is to treat your cover letter as the bridge between your experience and the company's needs. Your goal is to write a short, powerful letter that does 3 things. Number 1, show you're a fan. If you can find the hiring manager's name, then in the first paragraph, say exactly what you're excited about this company. Not just any company, but this one. Maybe you love their product or were blown away by a recent project they launched. This shows you're not just kicking tires. 2, connect the dots. Don't just repeat your resume. Pick 2 or 3 key requirements from the job description and tell a quick story about how you've nailed those skills in the past. If they need asynchronous communication, talk about how you used project management tools to keep a scattered team on the same page. 3, flex your remote skills. This is your chance to directly address your ability to work remotely. Even if you haven't had a formal remote job, you can highlight transferable skills. Talk about your self-discipline, your knack for working autonomously, or how you've managed projects with people in different offices. Keep it short and sweet. 3 or 4 paragraphs is perfect. A powerful cover letter isn't about length. It's about personality and passion. It's your first writing sample, and for remote jobs that live and die by written communication, it's a critical test. If you're finding these tips useful and want to make sure your resume can beat the resume reading robots, I've created a free checklist with the top 20 remote work keywords that hiring managers are looking for right now. You can grab it for free at the link in the description. It's an easy way to give your resume an instant boost. And if you're gaining something, don't forget to like this video. Mistake number 4 is formulating the why us question. This mistake is a close cousin to the last one, but it gets its own spot because it's a cardinal sin. Failing to research the company, whether it's in your cover letter or in an interview, you will be asked, so, why do you want to work here? If your answer is generic, vague, or all about how you just want a remote job, you've already lost. Remote companies are obsessed with cultural fit, even more than office-based ones. They want people who are genuinely invested in their mission. When you haven't done your research, it just signals that you're looking for any remote job, not their remote job. I don't know if that makes sense. That's a huge turnoff for a team trying to build a passionate, connected culture from all over the world. The solution is to become a company detective before you even apply. It doesn't take hours, but it needs to be more than a quick glance at their homepage. Here's your checklist. Number 1 is mission and values. Start at their About Us and Careers pages. What's their mission? What are their company values? Look for the exact words they use and mirror that language in your application. 2. Recent news and blogs. Do a quick Google search. Have they been in the news, launched something new, written a blog post you found interesting? Mentioning something recent shows you're paying attention. Number 3 is the inside scoop. Check sites like Glassdoor and see how the company shows up on LinkedIn. What do employees say about the culture? This gives you a peek behind the curtain. Once you have this intel, you can craft a killer answer to the why us question. Instead of saying, I'm looking for a remote role and your company seems great, you can say, was incredibly impressed by your recent launch of Project X, and it aligns perfectly with my background in mention your skill. Also, your company value of radical transparency really resonates with me because I believe clear asynchronous communication is what makes remote teams thrive. An answer like that instantly puts you in the top 1% of candidates. It shows you're not just looking for a paycheck, you're looking to be a part of their mission. Alright, you've nailed the application and you landed the interview. Congrats! Now for the final boss, the virtual interview. This is where so many qualified people completely drop the ball. A remote interview isn't just a chat, it's an audition for being a remote employee. The interviewer is judging your answers, sure, but they are also judging your entire virtual presence. Shockingly, surveys show a massive number of hiring managers have rejected candidates for totally preventable video call mistakes. For instance, some studies indicate around 58% see poor lighting or a distracting background as a reason to pass on a candidate. Around 30% of applicants run into tech issues that sink their performance. These are not minor hiccups. They are seen as proof that you are unprofessional and not ready for the realities of remote work. Let's break down how to avoid disaster. Number 1, the environment. Your background, lighting, and sound are your first impression. The mistake is a messy room, a weird angle, bad lighting, and noise from pets, kids, or the streets. It's distracting and seems unprofessional. The fix: find a quiet spot in your house. Your background should be clean and neutral. A simple wall, a bookshelf, or a tasteful virtual background. Make sure you're lit from the front, not the back. Face a window or put a lamp in front of you. And please use headphones with a mic. It makes your audio crisp and cuts out background noise. 2. The technology. Nothing says unprepared like a tech glitch you could have prevented. The mistake: a spotty internet connection, a camera that won't turn on, or fumbling with the video software. The fix: test everything 15 to 30 minutes before the interview. Test your internet speed, click the meeting link to make sure the software works and your camera and mic are good to go. Close every other tab and app on your computer. This frees up bandwidth and stops notifications from popping up, and have a backup plan. like the interviewer's phone number, just in case everything goes wrong. 3. The engagement. How you act on camera is just as important as what you say. The mistake is staring at yourself on the screen, reading from a script, slouching, or looking distracted. A lack of eye contact can come across as shady or bored. A fix. Look directly at your camera lenses when you speak, not at the screen. This creates the feeling of direct eye contact. Sit up straight. It projects confidence. It's okay to have a few bullet points nearby, but don't read them like a robot. The goal is a natural conversation. Smile, be engaging, and let your personality show. Mastering the virtual interview shows you're a polished, tech-savvy communicator who can represent the company well in a digital-first world. So that's the list, the hidden mistakes that are sabotaging your remote job search. We've covered everything from the spray and pray method to the virtual interview face plant. I know it can feel like a lot, but remember the one word that ties it all together: intentionality. The remote job market doesn't reward volume, it rewards thoughtful, personalized effort. When you shift from quantity to quality, tailor your application, do your homework, and nail your virtual presence, you will completely change the game. You will stop feeling like you're shouting into a void and start having actual conversations with companies that are excited to talk to you. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about learning how to present your amazing skills in a way that clicks with what remote companies are looking for. You absolutely have what it takes to land your dream remote job. Now you have the strategy. If this video helped you, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more remote job search advice like this. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which one of these mistakes you're going to fix first. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.